If you're wondering which Ultrabooks are worth your money, stick around. After we run through each product, I'll give you my personal take. Would I buy it or would I skip it? No fluff, just my honest opinion. Let's get into it. ASUS ROG Zephyrus G14, 2026. This little absolute unit packs a next-generation NVIDIA GeForce RTX 5080 and a 3000 pixel OLED screen that is brighter than my future. But honestly, it gets so hot under load that you could literally cook a steak on the CNC milled aluminum chassis. It is the ultimate lightweight gaming ultrabook that weighs only 3.3 pounds. Though the fans sound like a jet engine taking off inside a library while you are just trying to open a spreadsheet. Would I buy it? Yes, because having this much portable power in a 14-inch frame makes me feel like a god, even if it threatens to melt my lap off. Lenovo ThinkPad P14's Gen 6. This rugged workhorse finally got the Intel Aero Lake H upgrade and an NVIDIA RTX Pro graphics card, making it a professional beast that looks like a boring brick from 1998. While it is cooler and quieter than your last relationship, the 3000 pixel IPS display still has some backlight bleed that will annoy you more than a coworker who clicks their pen. Would I buy it? Maybe, but only if I suddenly get a real job where people respect the iconic red trackpoint nipple and 14.5 inches of pure corporate dominance. Dell XPS 14 DA4Torn260. The design of this machine is cleaner than a fresh pair of sneakers with its seamless glass, haptic touchpad, and invisible function row. But Dell is still being stingy by soldering the memory and giving us a low-wattage 30-watt RTX 4050 that struggles with heavy gaming. It looks like a futuristic piece of jewelry, yet it lacks a USB-A or HDMI port, so enjoy carrying around that dongle life like a total loser. Would I buy it? No, because I am not paying a premium for a laptop that prioritizes looking cool over having actual usable ports and graphics power. Lenovo Yoga 7 2-in-1. This flip-flopping flexible machine lets you use it as a tablet, though at 3.1 pounds, it is heavy enough that you will actually get a bicep workout just trying to read an ebook. The keyboard travel is a solid 1.5 millimeters of pure typing bliss, but the IPS display is about as color accurate as a toddler with a box of crayons. Would I buy it? Yes. It is the best mid-range ultrabook for students who want a sleek metal chassis without having to sell a kidney on the black market. HP EliteBook X G1A. This business beast features an AMD Ryzen AI processor with 55 tera operations per second for AI tasks. Yet it weighs more than its competitors and makes you feel like you are carrying around a small safe. The 88 decibels of speaker volume is impressive, but the battery life is so mediocre that you will be hunting for a wall outlet faster than a phone at 1%. Would I buy it? Maybe, especially since they finally fixed the keyboard to challenge Lenovo, but only if my boss is the one paying for this overpriced enterprise slab. Apple MacBook Air M4. This absolute unit of a laptop finally packs 16 gigabytes of unified memory as standard, so you can actually open more than 3 Chrome tabs without the machine having a mental breakdown. The M4 chip is basically a tiny beast that crushes single-core benchmarks, but honestly, it still lacks an organic light-emitting diode screen and enough ports to be anything more than a glorified, albeit very fast, iPad with a permanent keyboard. Would I buy it? Yes, because Apple finally stopped charging us a kidney for basic amounts of random access memory and the battery life is actually legendary. Lenovo ThinkPad X13 Gen 6. This thing is built like a literal tank and probably has more ports than your entire desktop setup, which is great until you realize it's still rocking a 60 Hz display that feels like scrolling through wet cement compared to its faster rivals. It's surprisingly compact and the multi-core performance is a total flex. But the battery is tiny compared to the Aura edition, making it the marathon runner that forgets to hydrate. Would I buy it? No, because in 2026, a 60 Hz screen on an Ultrabook is a hate crime against my eyeballs, and I need that 120 Hz smoothness. Lenovo ThinkPad X914 Aura Edition. Lenovo basically took the X1 Carbon Gen 13 and gave it some Aura magic, resulting in a 14-inch OLED masterpiece that weighs less than a bag of feathers at just 217 pounds. It's got a 120 Hz refresh rate and enough Intel Lunar Lake power to make you feel like a god, but good luck explaining to your bank account why you spent that much on a laptop that still has that weird little red nipple in the middle of the keyboard. Would I buy it? Yes, because it's basically the peak of professional flex culture and that 120 Hz OLED screen is absolute eye candy. Microsoft Surface Laptop 2025. This thing is basically Microsoft trying to beat Apple, but with a Snapdragon X Elite chip that's actually fast, though you'll still run into those annoying compatibility issues where some apps just refuse to work like they should. The build quality is surprisingly solid and the battery life is legit, but it still feels like a very expensive experiment where you're the unpaid beta tester for Windows on ARM. Would I buy it? Maybe, but only if you strictly use mainstream apps and want to pretend you're an edgy rebel who hates macOS. Samsung Galaxy Book 5 Pro 360. This 2-in-1 is so thin, it's basically a piece of paper that can run Photoshop, featuring a gorgeous 120Hz OLED that unfortunately flickers enough to give sensitive people a mild existential crisis. It comes with an S Pen, which is dope for doodling during boring meetings, but the Core Ultra 7 256V chip gets bullied in multi-core tasks by the MacBook and even some other ThinkPads. Would I buy it? Maybe, because having a 16-inch convertible that weighs almost nothing is cool. But that screen flicker is a total deal-breaker for my late-night movie binges. Dell XPS 13 9345. This minimalist beauty looks like a slab of glass from the future, but that invisible haptic trackpad is basically a game of find the clitoris, except you're just trying to open a spreadsheet. The Snapdragon chip gives you battery life for days, yet the lack of ports means you will be carrying more dongles than a sketchy tech support agent. Would I buy it? No, because I actually enjoy being able to plug in a mouse without needing a 3-piece adapter kit. Lenovo ThinkPad T14 Gen 6. It is the first ThinkPad to ditch Intel for the Snapdragon X Elite, making it run cooler than a polar bear's toenails while mocking the MacBook's battery life. The build is tougher than your grandma's overcooked pot roast, though the speakers sound like they are broadcasting from inside a wet cardboard box. Would I buy it? Yes, it is the ultimate workhorse for anyone who wants to work from a coffee shop for 12 hours straight without hunting for a power outlet. Apple MacBook Pro M5. Apple finally dropped the M5 chip to make us feel poor again, offering a 30% performance boost that is basically just for people who want to render 8K videos of their cat in record time. It is essentially the same expensive aluminum rectangle as last year, now with Wi-Fi 7 so you can lag at even higher speeds while browsing Reddit. Would I buy it? Maybe, if I can find a kidney donor fast enough to afford the 16GB unified memory upgrade. Lenovo ThinkPad X1 Carbon Gen 13 Aura Edition. This thing is lighter than my motivation on a Monday morning and features an anti-glare OLED screen that actually lets you see things without staring at your own ugly reflection. The Aura software tries to fix your posture like a creepy digital mother, but the price tag is so high it will make your bank account file for divorce. Would I buy it? No, because paying $4,000 for a laptop that tells me to sit up straight is a level of masochism I haven't reached yet. ASUS ProArt PX13. This flip-screen beast packs an NVIDIA graphics card and a Ryzen processor that could probably simulate the entire universe, though the fans scream louder than a toddler in a toy aisle. The 60Hz refresh rate on a creative laptop is a bigger joke than my dating life, but at least the Harman Kardon speakers can drown out the sound of your own sobbing. Would I buy it? Yes, because having this much portable power for video editing is worth the risk of my lap catching fire. ASUS Zenbook S14 UX54E06. This ceramic-coated beauty is thinner than my patience and sports a 120Hz OLED that makes reality look like a low-budget indie film, though the 1.1mm key travel feels like typing on a flat piece of cardboard. It's got that fancy ceraluminum lid to keep it from looking like a fingerprint crime scene, but the display is so reflective you'll be staring at your own disappointed face every time the sun comes out. Would I buy it? Yes, because looking this expensive while having a 14-hour battery life is basically the ultimate flex for a digital nomad. HP OmniBook Ultra. Flip. This 2-in-1 is more flexible than a yoga instructor on espresso, featuring a gorgeous 2.8K OLED touchscreen and a stylus that actually makes me look like I know how to draw. While it's trying so hard to be premium, the keyboard feels a bit meh, and the performance gets throttled harder than a teenager's internet connection when they're grounded. Would I buy it? Maybe, if I suddenly decide that flipping my laptop into a tablet is worth more than having actual processing power for heavy video editing. HP OmniBook 514. This one is the sensible shoes of ultrabooks, giving you a 360-degree hinge and a decent 1920 by 1200 resolution IPS screen without draining your entire savings account. It's lighter than the UltraFlip, but the 60Hz refresh rate feels like watching a slideshow from 2012 compared to the smoother 120Hz competition. Would I buy it? No, because life is too short for a 60Hz screen when I can spend a bit more and actually see my mouse cursor move in real time. Lenovo ThinkPad E16 Gen 3. This absolute unit is built like a tank and features a massive 16-inch display for those of us who are tired of squinting at tiny spreadsheets, but at 1.63 kilograms, it's basically a gym workout in your backpack. It keeps the legendary keyboard that feels like heaven for your fingers, yet the base model's 300 nits brightness is so dim you'll need a flashlight just to find your desktop icons. Would I buy it? No, because Ultrabook and 1.6 kilograms don't belong in the same sentence unless you're trying to build some serious traps while walking to a coffee shop. Lenovo Yoga 9i Gen 10 Aura Edition. This thing is a total show-off with its 500 nits brightness and a 120Hz OLED that's basically a portable IMAX theater, leaving the ThinkPad E16 in the literal dust. It's surprisingly light at 1.19 kilograms despite having more features than a Swiss Army knife, though your wallet will definitely feel the 1.19 kilogram loss once you see the price tag. Would I buy it? Yes, it's basically the final boss of Ultrabooks, and I need that 120Hz smoothness to justify my caffeine-induced scrolling speed. Thanks for watching. I hope this video helped you pick the Ultrabooks for you. If you have any questions, drop a comment below. Links to all of these products mentioned in this video will be in the description.